Live. So what we're doing here, I'm making a little video and then working on a fun video. And while I'm doing that video, I'm gonna live stream down here. Right now I'm just trying to be quiet in case there's anybody down here. I don't see anybody. So what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do anyway, I don't know what you guys are gonna do. I'm gonna look for some carving wood, some whittling wood, and I'm gonna look for a good place to sit and do some whittling. Figured I'd bring you guys along for this. So now you can, I mean, there's wood everywhere. So you can pick up dried dead wood anywhere. If it's been dried properly, it'll carve really nice. You see the beaver chew. Beavers have been down here pretty busy. You guys see any fish in there? The creek, last year the creek breached. The creek actually came in to this little river area, rivulet. It breached it. So right now what we're looking for is beaver sticks. That's what I'm looking for anyway. You can see the beaver trails all across see where they're coming out of the water. So I'm gonna see if I can't wander down to the creek. I'm gonna try to cross this, but I want to put my phone away for that. The stream ended, it didn't end. I told you guys I had to put you in my pocket for a second to go cross the water there. I didn't want to end up falling in the water or dropping my phone in the water. It's not worth it. So we're seeing a lot of cool stuff here. A lot of different things. There's some chainsaw work that somebody did when they were down here at some point. I'm just identifying between beaver chew and chainsaw work, what I'm seeing. So here in our little river, you see how deep the water was. I was down here cutting into the ice earlier this year. It's not very deep, and because we haven't had a lot of rain or snow this winter, you see where the beavers are just dragging. Beaver trail, this is all beaver drag. They grab stuff and take it right down in the water. Their dams are all down through there. So what's really cool here is this is our first pile where I can show you guys what I'm headed for. So I'm looking for driftwood, or wood of the driftwood nature. There's kind of a driftwoody piece. Here's another piece that's kind of driftwood-like, and there's a few of them around here. So we got this whole operation going on here. I'm gonna try to get the old camera set up here. And I know people like to be super critical when you're out here crashing around and stuff, and you're trying to, even if you're trying to live feed something, they get impatient. And what are you doing now? Well, I can tell you guys right here, first off, that's a nice piece of wood right there to work with. Okay, you see that? This looks like cedar. It might be walnut. It's hard. It's a hard piece of wood. Sorry, the DEET. I can't smell anything now. I'm gonna guess this is walnut. And you see it cuts fairly easy. Really nice wood. Really nice piece of cutting wood. Okay. Could be cherry. It's hard to tell if I can't smell them, and it's a dark wood like this, and it's been bleached. It's been out in the sun. It's been water driven. Really nice piece of wood. So I'm gonna take this one for the collection. Got my little saw here. Nice piece of wood. You know, the saw isn't too sharp, but it does the job. It's a little $5 yard sale saw. So you guys can get out here and you can carve for on the cheap, right? Do stuff really on the cheap. That's the beauty of this whole thing. I don't know what you're seeing or what you're not. Oh, well, silly me. Let's get the camera going there where it needs to be. All right. So what I was doing was chopping away at this to see what it looks like underneath. And see, this hatchet is really sharp for what it is, for a cheap little $5 or freebie or wherever I got it from. The DeWalt hatchets, I would say if you want a really good hatchet, go buy one of these, because they do take a nice edge. You may have to put your own edge on it. I put a little bit of extra edge on this thing, and it's like razor, feels razor sharp. So I really like it. That's looks like locust. Yeah, that's our locust wood there. So here I'm just testing. This is nice carving wood here too. This is really nice carving wood. There we got our trucks in and out. It's getting busy time. Boy, there's some nice pieces down here. Nice pieces of carving wood. So I'm just trying to cut this guy out. Oh, sharp axe. Won't stay in the rotten wood very well. I'm just trying to get a nice piece of wood to cut on. And you see how crappy this is here. I mean, I could take this little piece and carve something, or I could chunk off this. It's soft in the middle, it's rotted mostly, but here, that looks good. It looks like the rot gets less up here, so I took it where I did. This is probably all primo carving wood here for the most part, except for this little bit on the back. I mean, here at a driftwood pile, kind of just take your pick. What do you want to try? This is See, even this, even though it's a pretty rotted piece of pine or spruce, there's still really nice carvable section, right? There's still enough there to work with all of this here. All of it, take it all. All of this down here. It's all carvable wood. It's all nice and dried out. It's been in the water, a lot of it. See, I like this, the difference between your driftwood or your air dried wood, slow dried, air dried wood. Difference between that, there's just tons of it around here. It's everywhere. Nice piece there. Nice pieces. The difference is between that kiln dried, when they kiln, when you heat wood up, there's a beautiful piece I could take chunks out of. I could get carving wood for the next 2 weeks out of that piece alone. Bones? Oh, I love exploring. This is so awesome. Looks like a deer. There's shoulder blade. Too bad there's no head. Oh, it's two animals. That's an awful big. There's one vertebra. There's the other. So I wonder what we had going on here. Wonder if we had a battle. You see, there's your whole spine. Somebody left their spine for us. There's ribs everywhere, leg bones. There's the base of the other spine. There's the tailbone of the other spine. There's your tailbone. There's the other part of the body of the other spine. It doesn't really show me what it, I guess it's a deer. But your difference between kiln-dried, everybody says they want kiln-dried. There's a beautiful piece right there. If you were gonna carve something kind of weird and crazy, right, you could pick that piece there. I don't know how much people we got. We're just down at the creek. It's beautiful out. It's like 67, 65 degrees. Just a gorgeous day. Overcast, which is our usual here. But you see, guys, there's driftwood everywhere. So, sorry I keep getting interrupted, but yeah, there's fossils. We're already seeing cool stuff. There's a fossil in there. Constantly distracted. The difference between your air-dried wood and kiln-dried, you could probably get some nice pieces out of this if you dug around it. This here, this is your primo example of nice air-dried wood. Try to set up this crappy tripod. Guys, I'm only as good as my equipment. Only as good as everything that I have to work with. And it's not very good stuff. And I'm not a photographer. I don't know the good stuff to buy. I don't really get into it because that's kind of a booby trap for me to get into that stuff. Now this here, you see it was burnt. You see it was part of a piece of firewood or something. But it's real nice carving wood. It'll make real nice carving wood. The difference between kiln-dried and air-dried is kiln drying. Probably this looks like an old piece of pressure treated that's been water washed and burnt. the difference when you kiln dry wood, basically what you're doing is you're superheating the wood, you're speed drying it. So what happens is a process called hard casing. I'm just testing woods right now. This one's pretty rotted. I'm gonna move on and try to find a dry piece. When you kiln dry wood, you're causing a process known as hard casing to happen, which is you're basically speed drying the wood. You're hurrying the process, so you're not really drying it out in the middle as much as on the outsides, and it's mostly for strength. Like kiln-dried 2x4s and timbers laterally and rigidity wise are stronger than air dried. Only by, it's only by small degrees. It's not a huge amount. I like looking at rocks that look like they could have been. I've found arrowheads here before, around here. Like looking at rocks that look like they could be something old or part of something old that once was. So there's a beautiful pile of driftwood over there, but it looks kind of dirty. This is a nice piece of driftwood here. And I'm just testing stuff right now. But I'm trying to show you guys now. For $5 at the local hardware store or Home Depot or Lowe's, you can go get yourself a carving knife. This is, there's your $5 utility knife. This is a nice piece of wood here to cut into. If you got any ideas, we could do something cool with that one day. It's not exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm gonna search around until I find that one piece that basically sticks out. There's a nice dry piece there. It's been up here for a while drying out on the rocks. Has been in the water. It's a has-been like me. Yuck, 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 yuck. So there's a lot of history down here. I mean, there's farms, that looks wheel turned. I wouldn't say that's Native American. It could be. It's an old farmland, so it's going to be a mixed bag. You're going to see everything down here from the past 200 or 300 or 1,000 years of time that this has all been here and changed, and been changed by human beings and by weather. There's a chunk there, but it's in the wet. It's recently been wet. That's a nice piece right there. That's kind of what you're looking for. You see the dryness on it. It looks like a piece of sumac. Looks like a piece of sumac limb. Here's another piece here, nice dry piece. We could hack away at it. Looks like an old white painted fence post though, and it's heavy. So I'm going to say that one's a pass just because it looks like it's going to be some work. There's a beaver chew on those little bushes. Looks like it's going to be some work to get at it and get to the good parts of it. So we're racing back. There's more bones. Geez, the coyotes have just had a field day down here all winter. Coyotes, we got coyotes and bobcats. Also, fisher cat. I've seen a dead fisher cat on the side of the road. Somebody ran over him and he's trying to get across the highway at night. Fisher cats are pretty elusive. I've actually seen them down here before, kind of traipsing across. This is our other bone pile. I've seen them down at the wood pile, traipsing across the main yard, going inside the wood pile to hang out and probably hunt little mice and stuff. So there's a cool piece there I might grab. That's that kind of burly little knob. But we're just gonna walk down this way. I'm just out on a spring. There's a beauty. Oh, that's a nice piece to dig into. So I'm gonna grab that. See, it's all over here though. The cool ones to find. That's that's kind of rotted. If they're on the ground right now, they're gonna be wet. You could even grab that little stick sticking out of the water. That end of it's gonna be a really nice piece to carve. Most likely, if it's not rotted. If they don't have rot in them, they will be nice to carve. You got to get pieces that are been dried. Like this whole long stick of tree here is actually a nice piece to carve. There's a beautiful piece on the water's edge. But apparently somebody else has better plans for it. That's new wood. That's not actually what I'm after. That's a beaver stick. He's working on it. 2 reasons I'm going to leave it is just because there's that stick right there sticking out would be a nice piece. But I'm not going to go in there after it. It's a little bit too deep there for my interest. 2 reasons I'm going to leave that beaver stick. Because it's not fully cured wood. And it's part of his project. I'll just leave it there. This one looks okay here. I could actually pull that. It's dry. I mean, there's wood everywhere. It's not like there's a shortage. Not like I have to go out of my way or do anything special to get decent carving wood. It's just a matter of, there's a nice stick on the end of that. Probably pretty good cured up wood. So yeah, I'm making a video of this while I'm doing this. Like I'm actually doing a GoPro style video. So I'm looking for somewhere to sit. I'd like to get across over there and sit on that beach. There's even chairs that some of the neighbor kids put up over there. I don't think that's going to happen today. I could put my camera here and sit here over top of the water and then risk having my phone fall over into the water and get ruined. That's not an option. So I guess we'll just do it here. I don't actually get to sit down. I get to kneel here. You get to kneel. Beautiful place down here. I love coming down here and hanging out. Great little places to explore. There's all kinds of stuff if you guys are into finding stuff. That's an old Coke bottle, I believe. Old school. Looks pretty old to me. So now we can get into, I'm just checking to see what you guys can see or can't see. I don't know exactly what's being seen. So yeah, we can carve wood many ways. You got a hatchet, right? You probably can get one of those at Lowe's or Home Depot for 30 bucks or whatever they are. Like I said, I found it at a yard sale for a few bucks. That's got the price tag on it. $5 for a little bone saw, just for cutting limbs off. You can get more fancy than this. I'm trying to keep it simple. This is our primary carving tool. Also, we have these precision $8 or $5, whatever it was, that I think I got this at Tractor Supply. You can get them at Harbor Freight Tools as well. You can buy them all around. I think Tractor Supply, actually. And I like these because it's an X-Acto set, and it's got multi knives. It's got all different size. These are chisel bits. These are just different shape, just tip bits, right? And then you got your basic X-Acto knives, and then you've got your tip bits for more chip carving stuff. And then we've got the old school knife, which I did. This is, you see me cutting this, and you see me, I made a video about this, and I started carving a little piece here. And to show you the difference between a really sharp blade and a not really sharp blade. So this one is sharp, and it cuts, it still will make a cut, but I'm struggling a bit with it. The sharper your blades are, the better. And this is why I like the X-Acto sets, and I'm just showing you guys an example here of exactly why. You see, this blade is already sharper than the big one, and it cuts quicker, it cuts easier. And as I'm cutting, I'm just kind of taking my time on things. Not in a hurry. Not in a hurry at all. There too, I'm doing the dumb thing here. I always like to tape my thumb, because that's the one thing that gets hit. That's the one thing that the blade hits. So I don't need this. I'm gonna improvise in the woods here. Play survivor, survivalist, right? Be resourceful. So I like to have my thumb taped up pretty good when I'm doing this kind of stuff, because you're gonna end up bumping. You're gonna end up running into your thumb with the blades a lot. Oh, there's another piece there. Cool. All right. So we will use this guy as our thumb tape. And see, you can do anything you want to do, and I will save that in case I need it again. That's brilliant. Not brilliant that I thought it up. It's brilliant that it comes on the package, and it's that kind of reusable sticker, right? So now I can hit my thumb with the blade as I'm carving, because you're going to be doing a lot of that. So you want to tape your thumb up. And see here, I'm just going in and I'm picking with the tip of the blade. I'm just picking out little pieces. I don't know if my GoPro's getting all of this. This helmet's giving me a headache. I got the silly GoPro helmet on. Got to have the helmet on while I'm doing this. Alright, reset. So we're down at the creek and I'm just showing different options for different carving setups. They're all cheap. This is my little $5 to $10 yard sale purchase, and I have that video where I turn this into a carving knife. Alright, you guys can go through my channel and see that video. Sorry, my knees are getting old here. Gets a little bit rough being down here without anywhere to sit. But this is based off of that video where I had the $5 to $10 carving knife, and like I said, this blade is a lot sharper than this one. Neither one of them though. And this is what I want to show you guys. The easiest thing to do is just go buy an X-Acto kit. And this is that Harbor Freight or Tractor Supply special. Got my thumb all taped up using the label off of the container, so even that's super convenient. It's all about, for me, it's all about resources. It's all about convenience and resource. When I'm doing anything in the woods, when I'm doing anything in the wild. Like, the fun of it for me down here would be to try to get a fire going with just a couple sticks, if I had the time and the energy to get into it. That's one video I'd like to bring you guys. But now watch how easily this cuts, and you see as I'm cutting, I'm letting the blade do all the work. I'm not pushing the blade hard. I'm not ramming it in into the wood. I'm not pushing against it anyway. This is why I love these X-Acto knives and utility knives, because you can do this kind of thing. You can sit down here all day long if you want. I'm gonna try to, let's see if I can try to adjust this helmet where the strap is taken. It's giving me an extreme headache right now. Let's see if I can adjust this strap a little bit. So that's holding it on my head so I don't lose my camera. Alright, so well, that's uncomfortable too. I can kind of get used to that though. So I just go around and I kind of outline. Just kind of chip away and outline the areas that I want to remove. And what I'm trying to do is 2 chain links here. So you want to start in, you kind of imagine, or you can draw it in, you can mark. I don't go all the way to the end here, I go back. You know, it's a chain link, so I want to stay mostly within the shape of the link. So you can establish the shapes of your links first. This is fun here too, guys, just showing you a little stick of wood. This is actually a piece of kiln-dried dowel rod, so it's super hard, super tough to cut. This is where we get hurt doing things like this. This is why I say tape your thumb up. Wear a glove on the other hand if you think you need to. Just keep your fingers out of the way if you do slip. And don't get in too big of a hurry. See, I start here. I start there, not way up here. I start here. And I just pull it out. And these are my little sliver cuts. And then, see, I go out a little bit from this guy, and then I go right alongside this guy. Like that. And so I keep doing that back and forth. This is just a chain link, 2 pieces. It's going to be 2 pieces when it's finished. And this is why I like the X-Acto knives or the utility knives. I'll show you with this guy. You can do it with a real big knife too. Just get comfortable with it. And just let the blade do the work. If the blade's not doing the work, you need to change the tip. You need to change the blade out. It's dull. That's the whole secret to these disposable blade knives. And this is where you could I could slip here and go there, right? So I want to keep everything supported so that I'm comfortable and I'm easy with handling it. And right now, the blade on this, I've used this before. Even though it feels pretty sharp, it's not. It's not as sharp as I'd like. So I just have to be very careful and take my time and be very gentle with every move that I make with this blade. I don't want to push it too hard. And I'm just using the tip in here as a digging tool. So I try to imagine like years ago, right? Like what, 1,000 years ago or 500 years ago or even 200 years ago, because I found some Indian arrowheads on the property, like around this property. But it's also old farmland. I mean, you don't know where any of that stuff came from. Right? Like here's an old piece of concrete, right? That's actual concrete off of something, and it's just down here. You could be like, oh, it's nature, it's wild. Well, there's evidence, there's human trash all over down here from centuries, from ages, from years. There's all kinds of human remains, and everything is trash in the end, really. If you look at ancient times, if you go, I mean, it's easy to see if you look. Like I watch these videos all the time about mining towns, and people buy gold mine, they buy entire old copper mines or gold mines from the early, 1800s, 1600s, 1700s, whatever. And when they explore around those places, it's evident that people didn't have garbage pickup way out there. So you see, and now we think it's beautiful. It's all rusted piles of metal cans and trash. There's a siren ruining our peace and quiet. But it's amazing to me that no matter where you go in the world, you're going to find either drifted in evidence of human beings, or you're going to find just where they left, because they're up in the mountains mining for years, and there's no trash pickup. So you can only imagine what it looked like in the day, like when they were actually living there and doing their work. It must have looked like a trash pile, you know. And people have these notions, and you even see in Western movies, they didn't show trash piles, but there's the eagle. Oh my God, there's a young eagle. There's a young eagle. That's a young bald eagle. How cool is that? Just happen to be here when we're down here. Lucky us, huh? There she goes. Just going by. Love it. I love being down here. It's so cool. But if you imagine those pioneers, explorers, you take all the Western days and paint mountains of trash everywhere into those scenes. That's what it actually was like. You know, they didn't have dumps. They didn't have somebody hauling the trash off. They didn't have plastic bags that you took to the dump like we do now. It just didn't exist. So it's kind of funny to see the world in a different light than it's actually been portrayed as. There's a whole bunch of hawks up there, and there's 4 of them, 5, 6. See, and I told you guys this before. In our last live feed, I was telling you guys about this. I don't know if you can see them up there, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're just circling. They love to circle. They almost look like harriers. Like they don't. See how their wings are so swept back, and they're kind of smallish birds. They're not real big. They're a little bit big for falcon, but they almost look like falcon. That's hard to say. Yeah, they're just chilling. They're digging the thermals. Everybody's loving it out here. It's a gorgeous day. It's overcast, early spring weather. All the cool interruptions in life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6 of them. All the cool interruptions in life. That's the chaos I really enjoy. That kind of where you just, something comes out of the corner of your eye and it's a big eagle, or it's a group of hawks. You know. Those are nice interruptions. I deal with a lot of interruptions. See, I'm just taking my time, chipping away. Deal with a lot of interruptions that aren't so fun to deal with every day. I've always got these phone apps barking at me, because that's where I make a lot of my living. So this being as dull as it is, I'm gonna try to change it. We got some people. What's up, people? What's going on, everybody? How's life? How's life? Is it good for you guys? It's pretty good right now for me, because I'm down here hanging out at the water. I'm taking time for myself and bringing you guys along. I wanted to do this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So, I'm going to change the blade. Am I talking too much? That looks like a nice new one, so I'm going to go with that. And we saw the eagle, one of them, that was a young one. Usually I see the big ones coming. Maybe the big ones have flown over and saw me down here. And they're like, yeah, I forgot it. That guy's sitting down there this time. He's sitting right there. We're not going to go there. Wouldn't it be cool, though? If one of the big eagles dive bombed me, like, right down here in the water right in front of me. That'd be cool. I almost think, too, like, even if I got hurt, even if that eagle clawed me in the face, and I was like, ah, like, okay, survival, dude. Like how, like, what, you go, like, you go in the ER, you go rushing into the ER, you got a big old gash in your face, and it's like, they're like, what happened? I got attacked by a bald eagle. What? You, huh? You know, like, how crazy cool would that be? Nice fresh one. I'm gonna go try sitting on that log and setting up the old camera so I can sit on that log, because my legs are taking it. My legs are getting crampy. But I mean, if you think about it, like, say you're attacked by something, like, I'm not talking like raccoons or dirty, you know, dirty possum attacked you. I'd be kind of mad about that. I'd be like, oh yeah, I got blasted in the face by a porcupine because I was sticking my nose in the wrong place. You know, that's one thing. That's a dog gets porcupine. You're like, oh, that sucks, dude. Like, but imagine if you're just chilling and all of a sudden this big old eagle just whee! And he decides to claw you in the face. Like, that would be such a cool scar. I would personally, I would think that's pretty dang cool. I wouldn't wish it on myself or anybody else. I wouldn't, you know, it's not something that I aspire towards. So I'm gonna really take the risk here. I know this is completely stupid. I might completely regret this whole entire operation here in a minute. I might completely regret everything I'm about to do. But imagine that, though. Imagine getting attacked by a bald eagle. How cool. How cool would that be? I mean, there's better things. I mean, if you're going to get hurt, because I get hurt a lot in my life, I guess, is my point. I guess that's my point, is that I do get hurt a lot in my life. And if I'm going to get hurt by something... Wow. That's a heck of a... That's a heck of a chunk of wood there, guys. We'll just set that there because that's not going to get lost if it falls in. So we got our piece of driftwood here. We're working on our other little thing. I'm going to cut into this and see what this has got for me. This is kind of a nice piece. Now it's still a little bit wet. It's better if you get the driftwood when it's solid dry. But this is definitely carvable wood. And the cool thing about driftwood is you have these textures here, so you can kind of do your own little thing. So if I just take and just imagine I'm making like leaf shapes, like V it out. We call it V it out. And this is beginner carving 101 right here. Anybody can do this. You just have to be patient enough to do it. You just have to want to do it. And you just have to make the time. I actually had to make the time today to do this because I've been wanting to do this for years. And then I finally just got to the point where I said, you know what, enough is enough. The way that things are going for me right now, I think I should just go do that and do something good for myself for a change. Take care of business, you know. And the hardest part of this is the phone. That's the worst part of this, all of this, is messing with the phone. So, you can sit here and just whittle out this happy little S-shaped piece. Make a leaf or whatever you want to make out of it. Doesn't have to be anything real special. And now, like I said, the drier wood, the more dry the wood is, the better it's going to cut, the easier it's going to cut. Right now this is a little bit soft and wet. So it's kind of bouncing back as I cut into it. It's giving me a little bit of resistance. I might need to cut this short just because the wind is starting to pick up. There's cold wind too, so I can go both. Let me see though. So I need to stop and hold the camera when the wind starts flicking like that. It's actually pretty strong out here. I don't know if you guys are hearing it or not. I'm imagining that you are. So you can see it's not the most precise and not the best of cutting tools, but if you just sit there and go back and forth, just make it fun for yourself. And that's all I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to make something. I don't care what it is. I'm not trying to be too picky about any of it. And see, this is a little bit harder piece to carve. A little bit harder piece to carve because it's an open grain wood. It's very soft. and punky. It's a nice piece of driftwood, but it's also pretty punky wood. There goes my stupid. Yeah, I hear you, GoPro. I know you're a pain in my rear all the time. GoPros always need your attention. Always need more than you can give them. So there's just one example, and I can sit here and work at this for a long time if I wanted to. But you see, it's different. I changed this piece of wood. So now I'm going to do something else to affect a piece of wood in a cool way. I'm going to try to get to some good wood with the old hatchet. See if we got down deep in it, if there's anything. It's pretty punky wood, and you know what I'm running across here, guys, is as I dig into this, I'm realizing this is probably an old piece of lumber, off of an old piece of lumber, or it's just like poplar. It's a cheap, kind of a crappy hardwood. It's not a real good hardwood. It's kind of an undesired. It's like poplar or elm. Elm is another one of those that you're gonna come across, and it's gonna be a little bit of a difficult wood to work with because of the grain. It's almost like rubbery. So if we quickly test this out, we're gonna do our. You see the face carving videos I did? 3, 4, and 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cut. We did that in my face carving videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's simple to count. Just count your 5 cuts. And so we're just going to make a quick little face in this guy. Let's see what we got. And this isn't the best wood to cut, and I'm slowly but surely discovering that more and more as I cut into it. Now I could take this and bring it up into the barn and get it real dry, and then it would be an okay piece to cut. And even as I'm cutting here more, as I go deeper into it, it's getting to be a better piece of wood to cut, which shows you that pretty much any piece of driftwood that you can pick up, if it looks like this, if it's got the sun bleached, weather worn, water soaked, where it looks like it's been in the water for a while and it's all sun bleached and worn out, that's going to be good carving wood, even if it's not very good wood to begin, even if it's not a good species type that we normally use for cutting. Old timbers out of buildings can be really nice if you can find chunks of timbers. Old buildings like old barns or old industrial buildings, because they didn't always kiln-dry those beams and those timbers and those stud wall floor joists. A lot of that stuff wasn't typically kiln-dried back, you're talking 200 years ago. They didn't have the big facilities. They didn't have the big kiln drying that we have today. It's different. They might have used heat to dry them, but it was mostly air dried, heat induced, air dried. And a lot of it's old growth, so the grain in the wood is going to be better. So those are good to find. Old piano legs, old furniture legs, like older furniture, like 1920s, 1930s or before. Again, a lot of that wood was primarily air dried. A lot of it is like poplar, which if you air dry poplar over a very long period of time, very slowly, it makes excellent carving wood. So these are things that you guys can try. Even just go out in the yard or go in the woods. You can carve anywhere. I got into doing this when I was actually down in the city. I'd go anywhere that there was a park, anywhere that there was water, and I'd pick up sticks. And I was like, oh, carving driftwood. Oh yeah. Like, I forgot all about it. And I've always loved doing it. It's always been a fun little activity, you know, and it's a way to get yourself, even when you're in the city. I mean, I've been in Midtown Manhattan, and there's places there where there's a little creek along a, you know, in behind a building or along a park, or, you know, there's places to go. You can go down to the Hudson. You can go along a parkway and find a ditch, you know. There's so many places. Pretty much anywhere in the world you can go and do this. You can be homeless and do this. You can be rich. You can be a busy working individual who's always in their car, and this is one thing that you can do. Say I'm in my car all the time doing deliveries, but I get my downtimes, and you know, there's times that I need to just take a break if it's not real super busy. And you see here I'm cutting near my knee, but I'm really taking my time, and I'm not getting in too big a hurry with what I'm doing. You see, we're getting an old face there. Started out. He's starting to form. Starting to show himself. Well, I just broke the eye out. That's okay. This isn't real good wood anyway. Can always start over. But you know, there's times where I need to pull over and take a break for a little while. Had a long day, a lot going on. This is my way of doing it. And I do. I bring my little Harbor Freight or Tractor Supply X-Acto kit with me. Have something in there to whittle on, and well, basically you're sitting whittling the time away while you're waiting for things to get busy again. That's more of a wintertime thing. I mean, in the springtime, it's great to do that. You bring it with you to the park. I can go anywhere and do what I do. I can bring a little knife set anywhere with me and have a little piece of wood. I'm just having fun here, guys. I'm just chipping away. you know, I don't even need to keep that piece. I know you guys are like, what? You just threw it off in the woods? Yeah, why not? It's back to nature. Back to nature. Now, when I really started getting into my carving, I used a lot of hatchet and chisel. Okay. I used a lot of hatchets and chisels early on in my carving career. So my thing is I like doing bigger stuff. Let's see. Yeah. I liked doing bigger things, and I like to carve quick. I wanted to see it quickly happen. And this is the thing that you can do. Sorry, I'm splashing around in the water here. I should have my boots on, but I don't. The thing that you can do is just use that hatchet, use that knife as a tool, as your one tool. To shape whatever you're doing. And get rid of the punky wood here. This is your real dried out old locust wood. Real nice stuff. Real nice for cutting into. I'm just letting the hatchet do its work. Like I said, we're just having fun right now, guys. Not making anything real special or exact. I'm just trying to make a likeness of something. Faces are always the easiest thing. They really are the easiest thing to make once you learn your tools. And I know it sounds funny because people have a lot of problems. They have a lot of issues doing face carving. But you see, I'm kind of just going with what I have to work with. And I'm able to make something look like something. And I'm going with a fairly easy subject matter to work from. Your 5 cuts. And again, there's your 5 cuts. I'm just trying to keep my feet dry right now. That's my main challenge. I have to keep a dry foot. can go real fast with a hatchet and chisel. Once you get your basic stuff roughed out, you know, it's not that hard. Not that hard to just beat away at it and make something out of it. I got to, actually kind of got to run. Unfortunately, it's getting near time to go to work. I always got to go work. Try to get this roughed in before I go, just so I got something to come back down to later. So you can sort of see in the video what I'm actually doing. You know, you see it there. Starting to see an eye and a nose form. Right? Definitely want to go deeper with it. When you make your hatchet swings, be deliberate. Don't just swing wildly. Try to hold back a little bit, because you're going to run into here. You don't want to split that all away. It's good practice. It's real good practice. This helps everything. This helps me. This helps every style of everything that I do. This definitely helps it all. This helps my technique. As long as I've been carving with chainsaws and hatchets and chisels, I go back and forth. Sometimes carving with chainsaws helps my hand tools technique, and vice versa. Sometimes usually it's the hand tools that helps everything the most, because the hand tools is purely technique. It's purely cutting, right? Cutting and removing. You're not just cowering the saw and relying on the speed of the saw to do all your cutting for you. With hand tools, you're actually consciously trying to use the side of the tool. You know, the shape of the tool, the blade of that tool is 90% of the look of whatever you're making. See, and the more precise swings I take, the more I slow down, and the more precise movements I make, the nicer these come out than over here, right? And it's a matter of getting the right angle on it. I just want to get the right angle. See, and I could make this whole thing a totem pole if I came back down here. I really could. That might be cool. Well, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll come back down. Work on our own totem pole by the creek bed. And this is mostly just for me to have a video to make for you guys. I wanted to do a cool video Because if I were going to watch my own channel, what do I want to see? You know, that's kind of where I'm at with my YouTube channel right now. Because I'm always looking at my channel going, what do I want to see? Because a lot of my own content, to me, it's just stuff that people want to see, but it's not really stuff that I have a huge interest in seeing myself. So that's mostly why I do a lot of my content, is because that's what other people want to see. Usually when I show stuff that I want to see, no one wants to watch it. So, I don't know, I think this is kind of cool. Kind of fun doing this. It's not right. It doesn't have to be right. It's not. I like this because this is just me out here in the water, in the creek bed, trees and needles. Yeah, I brought you guys along, but I don't have to worry about keep paying attention to that. I'm just more interested to see who's here right here, how many people are here right now, and whether I should keep going or not. Because I will, if a lot of people want to see this. But there's basics. There's very basics. Don't gotta be perfect. Well, it's kind of getting dark now. It's starting to get dark. It's getting late. It's getting to that go home time. Whittled a nice, fun little face there. Showed you a few. There's another face over there in the stick laying on the ground. I'm gonna make headway back to my shop area. Want to get back there before it gets dark. Switchy switch. All right, so I hope that was. I just love it down here. I could stay down here for a long time, guys. We will definitely be coming back down here. I hope that was semi-informative, somewhat educational. Well, and after all of this, lo and behold, a beautiful specimen to bring back up to the shop with me. Beautiful piece. And I do believe that I have some driftwood up there already. But this will be a really nice one to bring back and do some working on. Of course, spring being what it is, it's only going to get better. The more I come down here, the more adventurous I will get with what I decide to. Ooh, there now. Look at that sucker. There's a butte. Shoulder blade and a pelvis. Pelvis the Elvis. Elvis the pelvis. Some wing sockets. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Love coming down. This is just in back of the old shop. Yeah, this is the place to cross here. This is just in back of the wood shop. These are kind of our. Everybody comes down here and adventures around at some point. Comes through here. I don't know which way I came through here. I'm just trying to find my way out right now. I want to get back. I want to get free from all this. Free from the freaking weeds and tangles. Don't follow the beaver path, because that's just going to lead you right in the water. I could just run real fast and get across there, couldn't I? I'm not going to try that. No, that log has been there. I crossed that log about 5 years ago. And it was iffy then. I think my problem here is I didn't go far enough out and around. No, I did. I came this way. Because there's that piece that somebody cut. Yep, this is our trail. And this is where earlier this winter I was down here, crazy game cameras going nuts, trying to get footage of stuff. And I smell something. I just smelled somebody. You can smell them down here. Somebody's out. Somebody's watching. That is some massive deer poop. Look at that in comparison to my foot. That's huge. If that is deer poop, that looks like it's a lot of poop. Might just be beaver poop. I thought beavers poop different than that. See, this is your typical beaver or deer pellets to me, as far as I know. I don't know. There is a big deer banging around this property. I saw his hoof prints earlier this winter, and they were enormous. It looked like a cow had been walking across the yard. It was very big. There's a nice dry piece there I could try. But this little piece here that I got, I think that end of it is going to be very nice to carve. And that's going to be a very nice carving piece. Very easy, very simple, easy wood to carve. All right. So I'm gonna cross the water. I'm gonna blank out here. Maybe I'll be back. Yep, made it across. It's not that treacherous. It's more that as I'm walking across all that, I don't want to have my phone out in my hand, because if I go down in the water, I'm liable to get my hand in the water or throw the phone. I'd rather have it in my pocket, and the chances of it staying dry for a second, long enough for me to get out of the water and throw it on the shore, is a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Or if it does get wet in my pocket, oh well. At least I didn't lose it. I've dropped my phone in the water quite a few times. I've ruined a few. This one seems to survive every time I throw it in the water by accident. So that was a cool little fun adventure. A little bit of woodworking down there and looking at stuff, thinking about stuff. It was cool to see the eagle birds and hawks flying around. Such an awesome place down there. I could hang out all day down there. sometimes I do. If I need to get away from things, I will go down there and just hang out. Unfortunately, there's the whole work and reality part of things where now I get to do not so fun carvings. I may go live while I'm doing that. Then again, I may just not and just crank through what I got to get through and keep going on it. Not really sure where we're going to be there. We'll see what happens at that point. I'm sorry, you guys are seeing gravel as I walk back to the shop. I don't like to show too much of my surroundings, because then if anybody recognizes it, guess what? They're showing up here. They're just showing up unannounced. Usually that's what happens. I don't like that. So please, if you guys are local, if you're by and you know where my shop is, there's a gate, there's a sign that says call ahead, whatever. There's plenty of ways for you to get in touch with any of us here. If you want to come by, if you want to hang out, if you want to visit, if you want to ask questions, if you want to learn to carve, whatever it is that you have on your mind that you want to do, I would ask that you just try to be considerate about that. And you know, if you think, oh, let's go over there and see what's going on, it's not really, this isn't really that kind of place yet. It might be that kind of place in the future where it's like a tourist, because being a carver is an interesting thing that people like to see. I'm not bragging about myself at all. I'm nothing special. I don't think my artwork's anything special most of the time, but people like to see it, and especially on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday in the fall. Yeah, let's go drive around, visit the art studios. Well, I had 10 people pull in here last year. You guys open? I'm like, how do you even know we're here? Like, I didn't have anything out. You know, just word of mouth. Oh, you gotta, this guy, I see what he's doing in his back. I seen him driving down the driveway and back with a big bear on the forklift the other day. You know, like, that's what a lot of people, that's where they get their info, is second, third-hand information. Like, oh yeah, you should go by and check that place out. Well, it's not really that check that place out kind of place, but I hope for it to be someday. But right now, I got too much going on. I have fun here. But this is our place where a bunch of us like to be, to get away from things, to get away from the crowds and the whatever we got to deal with in life. This is where we come to sort out our minds on things, where I come to fix cars. But here, well, this is a nice piece of driftwood stick that I got on my way back up. We'll carve the bad end just because I want to save the good end for later video. Yep, it's a hard piece of wood, so that's nice. And again, this is the crappy utility knife blade. But just remember, guys, if you're going to get into carving, always tape up your thumb to start with, because you're going to bump that you're going to bump your thumb with that blade a lot. And just bumping your thumb with that blade is going to make cuts in your thumb, and they're going to hurt. They're going to feel uncomfortable all the time. You're going to bump into them. So that's a nice little piece of dry wood. I've got to search around. I've got to search around my shop, my area here, see what else I have. I do collect driftwood on occasion, and I do store it. I just can't remember where I put it all. But thanks, guys. We'll see you later. We're out.